begin a new series entitled Stewardship. One of the reasons for this message is when I sit back and I reflect and look back to where we've come from and how far we've come, and I look at attitudes of people, behavior patterns. I was telling Bishop Obodai that I've come to the conclusion that whatever state we find the people or the flock in, the way they respond to God, to one another, to the work of God and everything is our fault. It's the diet we've been feeding them with. Because you are what you eat. You are what you eat, and you eat to live or you eat to die. And I said to Bishop, I said, Bishop, we need to change the diet. Yeah, we have to change the diet because whatever we are giving the people too much carbs, carbohydrate. We need to change from fufu and fetri akmene and pesie in burumburu. We need to give them some salads. You know, years ago I had this member of the church. He came to see me and he said, Papa, tell your daughter I'm not a cow. And I said, why are you saying you are not a cow? He said, every time salad, minya abuan me dinwirasa. Omfa mi fufu mami. He wants his fufu. He's tired of eating grass. You know, but I think we need to change the diet. We need to re-examine what we are feeding you with, and we need to start helping you to be rewired. After the first service, I was in my office. I met some individuals, and one of them went for a guy talking to me, and he said, is that how you are? We've been friends all these years, and apparently you've been attending action, and you've been enjoying such a good thing, and you've never invited me to action. You never told me about all these good things I'm hearing. Are you my friend? You call yourself a friend? You did, and he attacked him 4 times in my presence. When he walked out, then the guy said to him, Papa, I've never been embarrassed like this before in my life. And I said, why? He said, did you hear what the guy was saying? I felt so embarrassed. And the guy said, Charlie, I thought we were friends. I've been visiting this church for some time now, and the messages I'm hearing, I can't believe that you have been here all this time and you never invited me. Turn to 2 people and ask them, who have you invited to church? You. And hear me. If you have a good thing, what do? So turn to somebody and say, why are you not sharing this good thing you have? Why? Turn to somebody and say, is this church that bad? Yeah. I want you to feel bad. Is this church that bad that you can't share it with anybody? Invite anybody to church? Hey, Mesro, you know, there's this old man that said that he said it in Chi. He said it about one of the presidents of Ghana many years ago. He said, President, we ni baby a high, and ani baby a sum, and ani baby a kusum. Who baby a day? We are high, and now you kusum. From today, I pray that you will share the good thing you have with others. If it's a good thing, share it. If it's a good thing, stop coming alone. Bring somebody else. Amen. I'm not feeling you. I said amen. Today I want to talk to you about stewardship, trusteeship, stewardship. Until you understand the principle of ownership, responsibility, accountability, and the principle of reward, you will never appreciate ownership. You will never appreciate stewardship. All of us seated here are stewards. Every one of us under the sound of my voice are born slaves. Nothing belongs to you. You don't own anything. You have nothing. You don't have anything. No. And if you want to really know your true status, go to the mortuary or attend a funeral and see people laid in state in the casket. They strip them of everything. They are rich watch. You see those watch you are carrying, and some of you women, those different hats you've been wearing, they'll strip you of all the hats. You are not going with anything. You came naked and you are living naked. And when you leave, you will give an account of what you did with everything that was given you while you were alive. And everything you possess and you had when you were alive were tools and weapons given to you to perform a duty and to carry out a responsibility for which you were given life. And hear me, it doesn't matter how long it takes, that day will come when everybody shall give an account of what you did with life, with money, with skill, with influence, possession, houses, everything. And there are so many people who live and die, and they use tools. They use possession, the life given to them, treasures, money for evil. Yeah. I was telling them in the first service, I said, Mandela, one day when he became president, said to his security people, he said to them, I want us to go to one of the restaurants in town. And they said, Mr. President, we have to send an advance team to go first and, survey the place and everything. And he said, no, I don't want you to do that. I just want us to go. And he said, Mr. President, you can't do that. And he said, no, I'm doing it. Let's go. So they drove. They went to one of these restaurants, sat there, and ordered their food. And he was sitting there. Opposite him was this Caucasian guy who saw him, and he knew the guy. He noticed him. And whilst he was waiting for his food, he said to his security, invite that gentleman to join our table. So they went and said, Mr. President wants you to join our table. So the guy came, brought his food, sat next to Mandela. And whilst he was sitting next to Mandela eating, his knees and his hands were shaking. Mandela said nothing. When they left the restaurant on their way home, he said to his security people, what do you think was wrong with that man? And they said, we think he's sick. He has some kind of a disease. And he said, no, he's not sick. He was nervous. And they said, Mr. President, why was he nervous? And he said, when he was in prison, anytime they beat him and he cried for water, the man would come and pee over his head and tell him to drink it. So when he saw him with all those security people around him and the fact that he was president of South Africa, he was nervous and remembered the evil he did and was afraid that Mandela would use his power and influence to settle score. But he didn't do that. He was better than that. And the security people said, why didn't you do something? He said, nothing. Just him sitting next to me and me saying nothing is enough punishment. But I respected Mandela, Madiba, because he understood that power is not to settle scores. He understood something. And that's why he was different than any African president. And he will always be different until kingdom comes. Because he never used power to hurt others or to do evil. He understood that power is a tool and weapon given to one to use it for good and not for evil. If every African leader in politics, in church, at the marketplace, in the media, everywhere, will understand that power, education, money, IQ, skill, intellectual capabilities, possessions, treasures, wealth, and access is for good. That they are weapons and tools given to you and I for good. We will stop oppressing people. And Africa will be a better place than it is. But if that is going to happen, we must understand that we are stewards. And nobody deserves anything. And nobody owns anything. And you came naked. And it doesn't matter how long you live, you're going to check out naked as you came. And when the curtains are brought down, and dust settles, and water finds its level, on that day, each one will account for what you did with the time and the life, the access, the influence, the knowledge, the money, and the influence that was given to you as a tool and a weapon. Did you use it for good or you use it for evil? Nobody lives forever, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't believe it, you can study history and study about the pharaohs of Egypt. They live and they died. The Pharaoh who raised up Moses, nobody knows his name. And nobody remembers him nor his son's name, Ramsey. But Moses is remembered at all times because he chose to suffer and to be with the children of God than to be called the son of the Pharaoh of Egypt or the prince of Egypt. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't believe it, study history and you will see the Caesars of Rome have disappeared from the face of the earth. The Hitlers have disappeared of Germany. The kings of Great Britain, Britannia ruled the waves. The Saddams have disappeared. But the church is still marching on. The Gaddafis of Libya have disappeared. I don't know about you, if you understand why you are here and why you are gifted the way you are gifted and why you are different from others and why you are different from your siblings. The Bible said that what have you that you did not receive it? And why then do you act as if you did not receive it? Then the Bible furthermore says that the race of this life is not to people who are fast. Yeah. Not the battle of life to those that are strong, because by strength shall no man prevail. And he said, the riches of this life don't belong to skillful people or intelligent people, but time and chance happen to all. And the Bible said it is not to him that runs, nor to him that wills to be well or to do well, but it is God that showeth mercy. And he said, I will have mercy on whom I will. Somebody say, I hear you. The other day, Paul the apostle said, I was the least among all the apostles. I did not walk with Jesus except that I had an encounter with him on the way of Damascus. And he said, yet, though I came later, and I was the least among them all, I labored more abundantly than them all, yet not I, but the grace of God that was with me. Ladies and gentlemen, if you understand stewardship, you will stop taking credit for anything. The reason why people take credit for things And people give to be seen. And people do things for recognition and for accolades and for, pride. And they do it for name. It's because you don't understand that you're a steward. You don't understand the principle of ownership. Paul said, I am what I am, not because I studied at the feet of the great Gamaliel. And I am a Gamaliel. Because Gamaliel said, don't fight them, leave them alone. If what they are doing is of God, it will stand. And if it's not of God, it will fall away. It will disappear. And that is my principle in life. There are so many things I see I don't like, but I don't fight everything. I leave things to time because vindication is in the womb of time. And it's just a matter of time where kingdoms will rise and they will fall. And kings come and they disappear. The other day, the songwriter said, I have seen men become great. I've seen men great like an oak tree. Spread their wings all over. And he said, and I went and I returned and I diligently sought for them. And behold, they were not. When you understand the principles of God, it will make you wise and not just brilliant. I've seen intelligent, brilliant, and smart people who are not wise. Education, knowledge will make you smart, brilliant, and intelligent. But it's wisdom and working with God and going through process that makes you wise. David said the other day, he said, it was good for me that I was afflicted. Why? It has made me wise. I'm better today than I was yesterday. Who you are have nothing to do with success. It has everything to do with the process you've been through and how you respond to crisis. The strength and the sign of true maturity has nothing to do with success. It has everything to do with how you respond to crisis of life. And life is full of crisis. A steward. 4 principles I'll give to you today. We'll continue, God willing, next week Sunday. Number 1 principle, right, is the principle of ownership. Principle of ownership. Please acknowledge and understand that God, the creator, the author of heaven and earth, owns all things and you don't own anything. You don't have anything. No. You think you do, but you don't have anything. You are a possessor of nothing. And the day you recognize that you don't have anything is the day you die. And if you don't believe me, go to the mortuary. You see people loaded who thought they have everything and they are lying there naked with nothing. Number 2 principle. Number 2 principle. The principle of responsibility. You have a responsibility. Because you don't have anything, you own nothing. You are a steward of everything you have, including your life. You are a steward of it. Number 3 principle, the principle of accountability. You are accountable. And one of these days you give an account. It doesn't matter how long you live. Number 4, the principle of reward. God will reward you for good or for evil. So please keep that in mind. Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, the Amplified Version. Genesis chapter 1 verse 28.
And God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful,
God
multiply.
bless And said, be what?
Fruitful.
So the reason for blessing is fruitfulness and multiplication. So if you are blessed and you are not fruitful and you are not multiplying, you are not blessed, you are cursed. And it is abuse. Yeah. God said to Abraham in Genesis 12, he said, I will bless you so you can be a blessing. The reason for being blessed is not to withhold and to hold and to keep to yourself and to improve on yourself. But the reason for blessing is to be fruitful, useful, effective, produce, help others, advance the work of God. Go ahead.
And God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, using all its vast resources in the service of God and man.
Using its all what?
Vast resources.
For what?
The service of God
The
and
service
man.
of
God
and
man.
People live and die. And after having come into wealth, and having had power, access, influence, resources, they never use it for the benefit of the work of God. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of people, when they have access, they have influence, and they get blessed, one of the first things they do is to fight the source of the blessing. Yeah. I've seen people in my churches over the years, when they have access and they come into money or influence, the first thing they want to do is to challenge me. Yeah, they want to prove to me that they have arrived. And now they can talk to me. And that is when they come to me and tell me what they don't like about my preaching. And I look at them and say, I'll give you the microphone one of these days to speak for 5 minutes and see what shall become of you. You are advising me about my preaching because right now you are loaded. So you've gained and develop some audacity to talk to me about my preaching. And the basis of your confidence is money. It's not revelation. You have no conviction. And some influence and access. Something temporal. I suddenly make you bold to come and advise me. You don't understand? Yeah. Go ahead.
Dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and over every living creature that moves upon the earth.
You see, unless you understand that you are a steward, whatever you own and have in this life is for the benefit of God's work and others. First thing, his work and others. Yeah. Jesus is not building your business or your family. Whoever you are, whether you are a doctor, a lawyer, a businessman, whatever you are, whatever role you play in life, it is to advance God's work wherever you are. When you think that you deserve something, you've lost it. The day you think you deserve something, you've lost it. You don't deserve anything. God positioned you where you are for a reason. So if you are a lawyer, you must use your law to advance God's work and to help and profit people. Whatever profession you have in this life, it is never for your personal benefit as much as it will profit you. It is for the benefit of the work of God and others. How many souls have you brought and won to Christ since you were born again? And since God blessed you and gave you more than you've ever had, what good have you done with it? Who have you helped? Who have you blessed? Who have you touched in this life? It's all about you and your personal family. That's all. That's all. Yeah. Some of you come from villages. Since God said, let there be light, they've never been light in that village. Not even a half standby generator. They drink from rivers and streams with animals. The water is yellow and brown. And you live in Kra, in the best areas of the city. You haven't even put a borehole to produce water in that village. Some people, when they are growing old, then they go to the village and build a house. You know what they are building the house for? So when they die, and their friends come, they will know that they also have something built in their village. But that house doesn't profit anybody. There are certain villages you go to, you will see a big house standing there. Nobody lives there. The man that built this has died. His children and grandchildren don't want to live there. They don't know anything about that village. Instead of him to build a school or a hospital or something to benefit the community, or a church, so that if building that house was 500,000, divided, use 250 to build a simple, nice house. So when you are dead and your friends come to town, they'll have a place to stay. But at least build a church, 50-seater congregation, 100-seater congregation, or put a school or a clinic or something, or a borehole that profits and benefits the people, so that whenever they come there, they'll say, once upon a time, somebody like you did live. Why are we so selfish? And it's always about us. We plan, including when we die, to still in our death receive praises and accolades even in your death. Are they? Why? Lucky. Mini. Yeah. If you look at all our life and our thinking, everything is us and us and us. We are too selfish. And that's why this continent is blessed and loaded, and we're not going anywhere. All our leaders are in Ethiopia. Today is a good day to pray for them in Ethiopia, that they will come back with a new light and a new direction. All the leaders of they are in Ethiopia right now. They've been going there, meeting every year. For once, let light appear. Let there be light among them. That they will go back home with a sense of direction. One of the dangers of leadership is to surround yourself with people who can speak truth to power. Yeah. And it's one of the problems of leadership, because I have the same thing. The most dangerous people around me is my loyalists. Yeah. Whenever new people come around, they come to Papa. And I say, yes. Hey, this woman, this man, careful. Somebody say, careful. And I said, why? He said, the things we are hearing about this person. And I said, when you came around, did you know the things I heard about you? And I said, have you forgotten that me, I'm not an angel? And that me too, I came from the street. And I came from the ghettos. And I said, do you know what church is? Church is a hospital. It's a spiritual medical center. And we all come to church because we are sick. And we come to be diagnosed.